Welcome, everyone, to Meet the Frogs, where I introduce you to the cast of Sergeant Frog Abridged. Today I am joined by Revy Moonshine.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Let's get started from, the start. How did you first get into abridging and voice acting?
Well, what happened was that Shaz and Kai, who are part of Wren Studios, decided that they wanted to abridge Mobile Suit Gundam 0079, and they told me that they needed a female voice. And initially, I actually said no. I was like, I'm not, what? No. But they were really persistent because they didn't end up being able to find anybody else. And since we all know each other, it was just the easiest thing to do. And I thought, maybe it could be fun. So that's how I got into it.
There's actually quite a lot of people in Gutted Ren.
Mm-hmm.
What's the process of making a video like?
Well, it helps. It really helps, actually, that we're all real life friends. We all know each other and we live close to each other. So when we do sit down to script something, we can do it in person. So we tend to pick somebody's house. We all go over to their house and we watch the thing that we're scripting and we just sort of riff on it. And we write down the best of what we get, and then when we're finished with the whole thing, we go through and take out what's bad or what we think is bad. We keep what we think is good, and then we do it again. Basically, we just keep doing that until we have something that looks like a script.
How many are involved at one time in that?
Generally, it's all 5 of us. Because there's me, there's Shaz, there's Kai, there's Ravage, and then there's Itachi 1989. So yeah, there's all 5 of us, generally.
Okay.
Working on a script.
You also wrote the team's Patlabor abridged movie. Tell us a bit about that.
That was a thing. What happened with that is I wasn't writing that to begin with, but Shaz and Kai couldn't really make it work, and they weren't sure what was going on with it because they had written a draft and they gave it to me to read. They're like, "Here, Revy, look at this," and I was like, "Guys, this is bad though." So what happened after that was I just took it over and I was like, all right, I'll write this. Let's see how this goes. Because the thing is that I have a very different writing style than they do, and I find different things funny. So it was kind of an experiment to see what would actually happen if somebody else were to write a script. And the end result was the Patlabor movie, which, was all right. It was good.
I liked it.
Thank you.
And I have to be honest, I actually stole one of your jokes and put it in SFA.
You did? Which one?
The part where Kararo, it's episode 9. He's like in a little prison. He bangs his hand on the wall and says, I just broke my hand. I took that straight from this one scene. Like a guy drives away and the woman's like, he just stole my car.
Stole my car. Yeah.
Which was the best line.
Yeah, it was a lot of like what made that movie was the little stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, Unwardeless Godo was flawless. But it was a lot of the little lines like that, like, he just stole my car, or I put on a scarf for this, little stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Are there any other projects you're involved in?
I just recorded something for someone that I think is supposed to be secret, so I can't really talk about it. But I did do that. I haven't been doing a lot of voice work lately because I've been busy with like writing work and things like that. So I'm kind of out of it at the moment, but I would be open to getting back into it at some point.
I've even tried approaching you, but you've been busy a lot.
Yeah, I've been really busy lately. So, and because it's just a hobby for me, like I've never been one of those people who thinks about making it a career eventually. So since it's just a hobby, it's like the first thing that goes on the shelf when I get really busy, unfortunately, but...
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
But what have been some of your favorites, like voices or projects?
I think my favorite thing ever was, this was like my big break, in quotation marks, if you can call it that, but I was Hitomi in Unwardle's Escaflowne movie, and that role was just really fun because it was awful. Like, the stuff he wrote was so terrible and vulgar, and I was like, you want me to say what? But it was really fun, and he was really great to work with. So, let me think. A lot of the early stuff we did was fun. Like, even our own stuff, early MSJ was really fun. I don't think, like, I haven't, SFA obviously was a lot of fun too. And, like, that was fun because it gave me a chance to work with a group that was not MSGA or Gutted Run Studios on something that wasn't MSGA. So that was a really good experience. Honestly, I haven't been in a whole lot of stuff. So, you know, my input here is limited, but Hitomi was a lot of fun because I like to say bad words.
But it sounds so weird coming through like Koyuki's voice. I don't know if we could work that in for you.
Yeah, that would be weird. It's kind of part specific.
Yeah. A bit of your background with Sergeant Frog Abridged. You were brought in October 2010 for episode 4. You were recommended to me by Ezekiaru, who I think recommended half of everyone early on. I don't think you had an audition. All I can remember is you were in a call with me and Yoshi. And they were like, yeah, your voice works.
Okay. Yeah, so, I don't have any memories to the contrary, so that's probably what happened.
Yeah, I can't even remember. But what were your thoughts before and after you were given the voice?
That was an interesting thing because that was the first time that I think anyone had ever recommended me for anything. And he actually didn't tell me that he was going to. So you guys contacted me and I was like, what? Who is this? And, you know, you'd said that Ezzy said that I might be good for it. And I was like, well, okay. Because that was fairly early on in my abridging thing. So it's not like I was getting flooded with people who were like, do this voice for me or whatever. So I just thought it'd be fun to do something other than MSGA.
Yeah, you mentioned that the other guys had kind of encouraged you to do it because of the connection to Gundam.
Yeah, that's true too. And I think initially I was a little bit hesitant because that was the first non-Gundam thing that I had done in a while. And they were like, no, it's connected to Gundam. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, because I've never seen the show before either. So I had no idea what it was about. And they were like, it's about frogs and there's a lot of Gundam references. And I was like, that's acceptable.
And then we never referenced Gundam ever again.
Yeah, and then we never referenced Gundam.
Yeah, you joined like the episode immediately before or after we decided to just never do that.
Yeah.
And like, what's been your experience being a part of SFA?
I think you guys are really great in the way that you do stuff because it feels like, you know, it's an actual project that's going on. I feel like a lot of abridgers and abridging projects end up falling off the face of the planet because one or more of the participants decide they don't want to do it, or they get busy, which is not their fault, or they just stop. But I think you guys have been really remarkable in your dedication to the project that you've chosen to do. In terms of like, there was like, I think it was finished and then some of it was rebooted. And then I don't know if it's coming back now or what, but it's definitely not a thing that like happened and then totally disappeared, which I think is something that happens a lot.
It got close, but like, I think we basically just needed a break because you are right. SFA does mean a lot to me. Yeah.
And I mean, you can tell. So that's a great thing about it.
So what are some of your plans and ambitions for the future? Because you mentioned before, and it is one of the things that's been keeping you busy. You're doing a lot of writing.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of freelance writing, which is really easy to do now over the internet. There are a lot of websites for freelance writers for everything, like from fiction to articles to like little blurbs and catalogs they advertise for too. So anything you want to write, you know, basically you can find work for, and that's what I've been doing. I write fiction mostly because that's where most of the money is. You'll find if you go onto one of those websites, they'll want to pay you like $5 per article, which is not a thing that you want to do because that's not going to make you any money. You know, so I'm sort of working toward publishing my own book or novel or something at some point, but I'm not quite there yet because I have no idea what I what it would be about or what I would write. So, but that's the goal eventually.
Anything particularly odd or interesting you've written for?
There's a lot of like serial stuff. Like people will hire you and then put you on retainer for other work, which is great because that means that you'll always have something to fall back on if there's work for you, if they have it. Right now I'm writing some detective stories about like murdery things, which is cool because that's interesting.
Interesting way of putting that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not weird. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, and it's one of the more interesting projects I've had.
Cool. And to close, is there anything you'd like to say to the viewers and the fans?
I would like to say thank you for supporting SFA and supporting us and supporting me in the stuff that we do because it's fun and we have fun and we like it when you guys like our stuff. This goes for Gutter Den Studios and MSGA too. So thank you.
And I would like to add, your Twitter is quite amusing to follow.
Thank you. Most of it, I tweet mostly when I'm like sleep deprived or angry about something or, whatever. So sometimes I look back on it and I'm like, what is this? I need to stop, but I never do. So
it's quite fun to have you just post something with no context whatsoever.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Like a while ago, I think it was a year or two ago, you posted this one thing I'll never forget because I just didn't understand. It was like, I need a grown Asian man, strong but wise. It's like, what? What is the context here?
Yeah, I'm not a firm believer in context. I think having none makes everything more interesting. So, there you go. That's pretty much the theme of my Twitter, no context.
All right, then. Thanks a lot, Revy.
Thank you very much.